One of my favorite things to do is to travel. Travel has shaped my relationship with my children. The research you can do, all the things you can plan for, they're all unexpected situations or moments, and I enjoy all the experiences and memories that you create along the way.
Traveling around and seeing new things is something that we hold really, really dear. It's sort of our love language in our weird way.
Every time we go out, there's a new memory that's created and a new moment in time that's solidified. But I stopped being as active. I had significant anxiety for many years, probably 6 or 7 years. It would come at random times.
I remember she would wake up at 2, 3 in the morning of just this whole anxiety attack. I remember her saying multiple times, it feels like there's a weight on my chest.
I just was really struggling with what I thought was just anxiety and just being in this new place, which had nothing to do with that at all. I was struggling to breathe. Until November 4th, it just seemed to be, this is just part of life.
I got a call from my mom. She was like, hey, not to alarm you or anything, but I'm in the hospital. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're in the hospital. What happened?
I woke up that morning incredibly short of breath. I immediately felt a very weird sensation in my upper thigh. My heart was racing. I had a lot of anxiety, and this left leg was starting to get worse. I said, I'm just gonna grab the car keys. I'm gonna head down to MGH.
She gets to the receptionist's table. She's like, my leg is a little big and it's purple now. And at that moment, she really starts to sweat. The doctor immediately says, okay, we're just gonna go back and take some vitals for you. Called over the wheelchair like that. People started swarming her because she's having a major health issue and she doesn't even kind of realize it.
I wasn't really reconciling why I would have the shortness of breath, except for that it was still anxiety and I was in an emergency room. So they came, they drew lots of blood, they were asking lots of questions. And that's when I thought it's a clot. Of course, I wasn't really asking questions why they were doing multiple tests. I kind of knew that they were looking for something. And I didn't think that I had pulmonary embolisms at this point. I just was thinking it's just a clot in my leg. But when they came back and they shared with me that it was May-Thurner's, I'm a fairly educated person and I had never heard of May-Thurner's before. So the right iliac artery was overlapping the left iliac vein. People with May-Thurner's, they will actually overlap and it will compress it over years and years. And so my shortness of breath and my anxiety was actually from after this clot had been built up over the years, little bits of that clot were breaking off and going up into my lungs, giving me shortness of breath, which was instantaneously making me anxious. That clot was really causing the biggest problem from that compression. I was reassured that we could fix it. There were 2 options that were brought to my attention. One was a medication that they would put in the day before, and it would break up the clot, and then they would suck it out. But that one had a risk of brain bleed. And the other option was the clot retriever, where they go in and actually manually remove the clot. I preferred the manual option because I thought, based on what I read, they would get more of the clot out. And I also did not like the risk of the brain bleed. So I decided for the manual remover with the clot retriever and Inari for those specific reasons. I had the surgery Tuesday morning and I was out Thursday morning. I even went back to work that following Monday. They were like, do you want to take a few weeks off? And I'm like, no, I just want to go back to my life.
It's amazing. It was night and day switch. She doesn't get that much anxiety anymore. Those attacks that she has had in the past, gone. Seeing her where she is right now is the most amazing perspective I've ever seen her in.
Yeah, I just kind of jumped right back into life. I'm calmer, I'm happier, I'm grateful. It's almost been a year since my surgery and I don't have anxiety. I could take out the trash, I could pack my bags, I can drive my car, I can do anything, and I do not have anxiety anymore. When something isn't right, advocate for yourself. Ask the questions, get the best care possible. Don't settle. and do your research, even when it comes to device therapy. I felt reassured that my long-term outcomes were going to be just as good as my short-term outcomes. I knew that the clot retriever was going to get the majority of the clots. After the surgery, we did all these things. My son Parker, he goes, "This is the first time that you've walked this far with me. Welcome back. We really missed you."